there, yarn lovers, it's Gary and I'm coming to you from my happy place, the Yarn Corner here on the west coast of Canada. So welcome, welcome, welcome on this sunny Sunday, September the 21st, 2024. How are you all doing? I hope you're well and you're enjoying the second day, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, of fall. I'm really enjoying the colors. The leaves are slowly turning. They're a little late, but we get more shade from the canopies of the trees. And I have a dog, Pixel. I love taking for walks in the woods, so I'm enjoying all the fall color changes. And I hope you are as well, if you are enjoying your fall here in the Northern Hemisphere too. Now, for those of you who have not been here before, I want to welcome you and tell you a little bit about what this channel is all about. I set this channel up to talk about all of my yarny adventures. That's in knitting and crocheting. And I talk about my acquisitions, where I purchase my yarn and tools of my craft from. So if that is of interest, please stick around. And for those who are returning, I want to say welcome back and thank you for leaving me comments and messages in the last video that I dropped. It was all to do with talking about purchasing your patterns. Now, I know some people enjoy free patterns, which I do as well. But if you are like looking towards making a collection of patterns, do you prefer doing it digitally or do you prefer getting them in books? Now, this is the question that I posed in the last video and I got some great responses. I got people saying to me that they prefer digital and they just print them out when they need to. It's great for if, you know, you're on the go and you kind of want to maybe work on a few patterns, but you don't know which one you want to embark on. Say you're mobile and you're not at home, then you have a folder full of these wonderful patterns to choose from on the fly, and it's digital and it's easy to carry all of those around. And then there were people who said they liked the books because there were wonderful photographs. Perhaps it's a collection of all types of different similar items like shawls, or there is a curated collection from one designer all in the one place. So I'm of two minds. I do both. But just to touch base as well on that video that I dropped, I'll leave the link down below in the description box. I did showcase a couple of Stephen West books that I've been wanting and oohing and ahhing over. So I finally got the hardback and the paperback. So the physical books sent to me from all the way from Stephen and Penelope in the Netherlands. And what I noticed is on the back of Stephen West books is a code. So I just downloaded all of the digital files pertaining to those patterns in those publications for free, because the book has the code that I typed in at when I was on Ravelry, and I was able to get the digital version as well. So I feel I got the best of both worlds with the Stephen and Penelope, or the Stephen West publication, hardback or paperback, by getting the digital as well as those beautiful photos and technical skills kind of like described in the book itself. So what is Hank wearing and what I'm wearing, I hear you ask? Well, Hank is sporting a knitted shawl that I completed about 8 months ago. It's to a paid pattern that I got on Ravelry called The Colorist. It's by Lisa Haynes. Really nice pattern there. There are 3 pages of written out instructions, plus the 4th page is being this cover. Tells you a little bit about what it is. It is a crescent shaped shawl. It's one of the ones that I like, the shape where it's quite long and then not so deep, so it doesn't bulk up in the front. And the only thing that I found using the fiber based here was that I was using a majority acrylic, and it had a little bit of wool in it, I believe. But when I was starting on the central tab, which is a I-cord tab, and then you collect all your stitches and you work your way out, there was like a excess fabric in the middle of the archway, so it looked more like a mustache, and I couldn't block that out. I did try. I soaked it heavily, I blocked it heavily with my blocking mats and pins, and it looked like it was going to be drying like nice and flat in the archway, but it actually came back after I unpegged it all. So perhaps with this pattern, it might be a nice thing to use a fully natural animal fiber, which has a bit more stretch to it, and you can block that out easily. So yeah, I really like it still. I still wear it around. And what I'm wearing is a gift that was given to me by a friend who visited me recently, Karen. It is a Tunisian crochet pattern that she had done to a tutorial. Now the pattern design itself is called the Carisma Tunisian Shawl. And I will link the tutorial that was used down below in the description box. And it's by a YouTuber called the Crafty Crocheter. I absolutely love this. I've been wearing it pretty much to work, you know, when I go out somewhere. We've been to the theater and I took this everywhere with me. So it's getting well loved and well used. So I absolutely like it. Now, the fiber in this one is a Expression Fiber Arts yarn, and the base is called Pearlescence. It's a combination of superwash merino and silk. Sorry, I got a message on my phone there. And it has this wonderful sheen to it that the silk provides. And I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for this, Karen. I wear it a lot. Today, what am I going to be talking to you about? I have some yarn that I purchased from JoAnn. Now, this purchase was made back in, I believe, I'm just going to check my order form here. Sorry about me crouching down. It's telling me I purchased this on August the 2nd. Premier Yarns is an online store based in the United States, and they do ship up here into Canada. They do use a third-party delivery service, but for some reason, the DHL, which is the delivery service, didn't come with an extra bill or extra GST or taxes or their brokerage fee, which is wonderful. Now, I don't know what that reason was, because sometimes I've purchased things smaller, like in cost value or even weight, and I have been actually charged those costs. And this was quite a hefty, a hefty box that came from Premier across the border and to me. So I don't understand it. I do see on my invoice that I was charged GST. And I'll go through all of that when I talk about shipping and costs. Just for us up here in Canada. So I'm always scratching my head trying to figure out what the drill is. I've heard that there's a monetary value where they waiver like any expenses as it crosses over. Then I've heard if you pay for your taxes in the States, they kind of waiver it here in Canada. I've heard all different stories. So I just don't know what to tell you. But in this instance, I lucked out and I did not have to pay any extras from the point of purchase, because I do see that there's some taxes that are retained here on my invoice. So yeah, what did I get? It's shipped in about a week. So I got it nice and quick. Didn't get held up at the border or anything. So that was nice. And there was a special on one of these yarns that I had purchased that was selling it. And I just checked today being Sunday, September 21st, 2024, is that the Momenti is a yarn that usually sells for, I believe, like $11. But if you buy them in a pack of 3, each individual one comes to $6. So when you tally up the bag of 3, it's $18. So I thought that was good savings. But here we go, the first lot that I got. Now, I was lucky to get a little bit of this. The first time that it went on Premier's site, it was a new yarn back around, I'm going to say 4 months ago. And I was lucky enough to get, I think, four different cakes in 2 colors, maybe 3. But now I wanted to get other colors that were not available at the time when I purchased it. So if you guessed, it's called the Premier Anti-Peeling Everyday Worsted Gradient Cake. So I got this wonderful color here. I got 2 of them actually. This color, so squishy, shiny, wonderfully, wonderfully soft, and I love the gradient so much. There's no stepping. It's quite a nice subtle gradient that goes from this central color all the way out to the darker, richer color. Now, this is a yarn that is 100% anti-peeling acrylic yarn, and I'm getting 200 grams in each of the cakes, offering up 360 yards or 330 meters. The color that I'm holding here is called Purple Tones, and it's suggesting here to use 5mm knitting needles or a 5.5mm crochet hook. They are saying machine, wash, warm, and tumble dry for care instructions, and it is ticked here and tested and approved against 350 plus harmful substances, which is always good to know. It's got the easy start pull tab, and what do you think about that 4? I like it. I think it could be considered slightly a thinner 4, but I think it's a good measure for sure. And I love the color. So I got myself 2 of them. And I was talking about some new patterns that I purchased in the last video. And there were blanket mosaic crochet patterns that I purchased. And I think these will work really nicely combined with the mandala, Lion Brand mandala with the stripe changing yarn. So yeah, these will be coming back. You'll see them soon as I finish this other blanket that I'm working on. It's taken me a full year, but I'm almost there. Okay, the other color that I got in this one is this one's probably a favorite of mine out of the whole color series. Yeah, the green grass one. I love the green grass one that they have, but I also love this one here. Again, same stats, the Premier Anti-Peeling Everyday Worsted Gradient. The color is eggplant tones. Look at those. Ah, I love them, love them. And they're so, so soft. If I was to rate this, my softness, it would be a high 3 out of 5. 5 being the softest on my scale. I'm going to give this like a 3.75 for softness factor. So I got 2 of those. Now, I hear you ask, how much were they? How much were they? It was $8.99 per cake at the time that I purchased it back on August the 2nd. And then when I checked today, it still is the same value. It's $8.99 as of the recording of this video. And the last 2 that I got, I wanted to see what these colors were like, and I do like them as well. This one here is it's like a orange variety of it. I don't know what they call it. It's called Orange Tones. I like that a lot too. And this one here is called Teal Tones. So yeah, a color project coming up for sure with these. I just don't know what I'll make with them. I know the darker ones, the dark purple and the eggplant, will probably go into blankets because I got 2 of them, but these ones might be something else. I might want to try it in a different item and maybe knit with them, because the mosaic crochet blankets will be in crochet, but I would like to see how they work up knitted as well. So again, that was $8.99 US currency. The next one was the Momenti that I was telling you about, having a bag of 3 for $18, which equates to $6 per cake. When this first came out, I'm not even sure. It was probably a year and a bit ago. They had come out, and I believe they were over $10 each, 11, 12 US. And for us here in Canada, when I was purchasing I think I got maybe 4 in the first round. When you did the conversion from the $11 range to Canadian currency, it was more like a $15 cake. And I thought it's kind of expensive. So I'm glad that they had these on sale, and they still do now, for $6 a cake, or what is it? $18 per bag of 3. So yeah, there's a Momenti from Premier. and that's the colorway of the first bag that I got. I like them. I like them. It's a little drier. It's kind of soft, but not the silky softness like the shiny and sleek from the anti-peeling. This is more of a, it's more of a fuzzy softness. And I'm going to rate this one as a 3.5 softness on my 5-point scale. Let's have a look at that. That does look like a worsted weight, more of a healthier worsted weight than the anti-peeling. And there's a bit of fuzz on it. It's not necessarily the most roundest of yarns. It's quite, sometimes it's a quite flat and squished yarn, and then other times it seems to be a little bit more rounded. So it's not consistent, but it to me looks like a, is it a chain spun or a blown? Looks like it's a chain spun yarn. If you can see that, it's like got individual plies, but they're kind of, it looks like they're linked with kind of a chain mesh. It's interesting. But then there are some fibers that come off it as well. So I think it will be a little sheddy when you start working with it. Let me give you some details here. So the Premier Momenti is 200 grams per cake, offering up 437 yards or 400 meters. The colorway that I'm holding is called Reef, and it is 58% cotton, 42% acrylic, 4-weight yarn or a worsted weight. And they're suggesting here a 5mm set of knitting needles or a 5.5mm crochet hook. You can machine wash this in cold, but lay flat to dry. There we go. It's got nice colors in there. I am getting, what did they say? It's called Reef. I do see the oceany blue waters and then some sort of like a lime green. And yeah, I do like it. It's nice. So I got 3 of those in the pack. Put them back in the box. Next one I got was this Momenti in the 3-pack. I'll just open it up so we can see it doesn't shine. This one here is called Canyon. That's the Canyon. And again, Premier Momenti in the Canyon way. So I'm getting a sort of a straw yellow or a tan color, and then it's got a terracotta-y kind of orange, and this color here, I'm not really sure what that color is. It looks a little bit sort of brown, maybe a brownish or a khaki color. Kind of looks a little green to me. Yeah, love it. And this one that looks kind of similar to the last one with the tan and yellow, but there is no other color in it. It's called Meadows. So it's green in this one and yellow. Green and yellow. More of a spring green, I guess. There. And yellow. So if I'm looking, those 2 colorways might work well together because they kind of give me the same vibes. More bright yellows, tans, and this kind of green that comes through it. And as with other cakes, depending on how they're wound, if I was to pull out all of the Canyon cakes, you'll see, I won't pull that one out, it's getting a bit too hard. You'll see it depends on how it's wound. They look a little different, but we've got this darker color here in the center, and then in this cake it's on the edge, and then this tan yellowish color is here in the center, but then it's sort of like over here. So yeah, it's they're the same colorway, just wrapped slightly different. So yeah, that's my order from Premier Yarns. I now will shift gears and talk about a little bit of the discounts that I got, as well as the shipping and taxes. So it says here I got discounts of $36.71, and I believe it's from the Momenti cakes, them being reduced. The shipping was $36.71 in US currency, and the taxes that they charged me were $12.96. So I don't know whether that's because I had paid taxes initially on this purchase, that when it arrived here in Canada, they saw it in the invoice sheet on the way bill, which is attached to the outside of the box, and they decided that there was no taxes to pay, just continue on with the journey, and DHL did not have to then go in and pay taxes, and so they didn't have to charge me the brokerage fee. But I think that might be my understanding of this instance, because it's not always the same. So depending on whether you are in Canada or other parts of the world ordering from Premier Yarns, I would suggest, as always, to go to their shipping site to learn about how they're going to ship it to you in your country, and just to make sure that you are expecting extra, if there's any extra fees that happen after it's delivered, from the third-party courier service that they've chosen to mail you or ship you your goods. So that would be my tip for the day, so that you don't get surprised by an unexpected bill in the mail, which has happened to me before, but not with this instance. It was with the other company, but it does happen. And with that, I think that catches you up on my box that I wanted to talk to you about, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.